Welcome, gents. Weirdest Sigma male traits that will make you say WTF. Ever met someone who seems perfectly normal at first, only to find out they have the strangest habits that make you do a double take? Enter the Sigma male, a walking paradox wrapped in mystery. These guys break all the social rules, but not in the loud, rebellious way. No, they do it quietly, in a way that makes you wonder, is this guy a genius or is he just messing with the rest of us? Sigma males aren't here to impress anyone. They live in their own world, follow their own rhythm, and frankly couldn't care less about fitting in. But the weird part, the things they do don't just catch you off guard, they make you stop and think, WTF, did I just witness? So buckle up. These aren't your typical lone wolf traits we've all heard a million times. We're diving into the 13 truly bizarre, head-scratching behaviors that only a Sigma male can pull off. From their obsession with discomfort to their alien-like detachment from everything normal, get ready to question everything you thought you knew about human behavior. And trust me, by the end, you'll either want to high-five these guys or slowly back away, maybe both. So gents, stick with me until the end. The last point will definitely hit home, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Number 13, they read people like a book. One of the most unsettling things about Sigma males is how effortlessly they can read people like they're flipping through a book. No small talk needed. Within minutes of meeting someone, they've already figured out what makes them tick, their hidden insecurities, and even what they're not saying. It's like they've got this invisible scanner that picks up on all the little signals most people miss. And here's the freaky part. They don't even have to try. While the rest of us are still trying to remember someone's name, they've already mapped out their entire personality. It's not like they're doing it to be manipulative either, it's just how their brains work. They're hyper-aware of body language, tone, and those little micro-expressions most of us don't even know we're making. They can tell when someone's nervous, lying, or putting on a front, and they file all that information away without saying a word. What's even weirder is that they don't usually call people out on what they've figured out. They just sit back and observe, maybe dropping a subtle comment here or there that shows they know more than they're letting on. It's both impressive and a little unnerving, like being around someone who knows your secrets before you've even opened your mouth. Sigma males might not show all their cards, but trust me, they've already seen yours. Number 12. They're a step ahead, but they'll never show it. Sigma males are always operating on a completely different level, but you'd never know it unless you look closely. It's like they're playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. They have this quiet way of being a step ahead, seeing moves before they happen, yet they don't feel the need to flaunt it. You'll be having a normal conversation, thinking you've got them figured out, and then bam, they drop a subtle comment that makes you realize there's a whole layer of thought going on behind those calm, unbothered eyes. And the thing is, they're not trying to prove anything. They're just wired to think several steps ahead, and it's as natural to them as breathing. What's really wild is how they keep these plans within plans so under wraps. They're not the type to broadcast their moves or strategies. In fact, they'll let you think you've caught up, that you're on the same wavelength. But deep down, there's always more going on behind the scenes, stuff they've calculated, predicted, and accounted for without needing to mention a word. It's like they're running a background program that's processing way more information than they let on. You never truly know what a Sigma male is thinking, but trust me, they've already anticipated your next 5 moves. The kicker? They'll never rub it in your face. They'll just sit back, let things play out, and remain 2 steps ahead the whole time. Number 11. They can predict outcomes with disturbing accuracy. One of the strangest and most unsettling traits of Sigma males is their uncanny ability to predict outcomes with disturbing accuracy. They're not sitting there with crystal balls or anything. Instead, they've got this almost sixth sense for reading the room and understanding how people tick. It's like their human radar, picking up on subtle cues and patterns that most folks completely overlook. You might think you're in control of a situation, but they're already 10 steps ahead, nodding along while internally calculating the likely outcomes. You'll see them analyze situations in real time, and just when you think they're being aloof, they drop a bombshell. You know, I give it a week before they start arguing, or mark my words, that plan is going to fall apart. And it's not just wild guesses. They have an almost eerie knack for being spot on. It's like they're watching a movie where they know the ending before the credits roll and you're just there, clueless and munching popcorn. What makes this trait even weirder is that they don't flaunt it. They'll sit back, observing as events unfold, sometimes with a smirk, like they're in on a joke you haven't caught yet. And when their predictions come true, they act like it's no big deal, leaving you to wonder if they're part wizard or just really good at reading people. It's both impressive and slightly disconcerting, making you wonder what else they might know that you're completely oblivious to. Number 10. They're time travelers in their own minds. Sigma males have this strange, almost sci-fi ability to live in multiple timelines at once. And no, they're not secretly auditioning for the next time travel movie. In their heads, they're constantly jumping between past, present, and future, like flipping channels on a TV. One moment, they're replaying an awkward conversation from 2 years ago, thinking about all the better comebacks they could have had. The next, they're fast-forwarding to what their life will look like in 5 years if they make a certain decision today. It's like they're running their own mental simulations, testing out different paths and outcomes before they ever take a single step. They don't dwell on mistakes in the usual way either. It's more like they're time travelers who stop by the past, tweak the memory a little, then return to the present with new insights. They've already lived the alternative timelines in their heads, so when they finally act, it's with the kind of clarity that leaves everyone else scratching their heads, wondering how they always seem one step ahead. But here's where it gets weird. This isn't just some overthinking spiral. It's almost like they've hacked into time itself, weaving between realities to fine-tune their present decisions. To them, time is more like a suggestion than a rule. They're not trapped in the now like the rest of us. They're bending it, playing with it, using it to their advantage in ways that would leave most people's brains exhausted. Thank you for being a valued subscriber, gents. Your ongoing support is greatly appreciated and motivates us to continue creating meaningful content. We truly value your engagement. Number 9. They memorize random, useless information as mental training. Sigma males have a knack for memorizing what most of us would deem utterly useless information, and it's a strange sight to behold. While you might struggle to remember where you parked your car, or what day of the week it is, these guys are out there committing the entire periodic table to memory. Why? Because for them, it's not just about trivia. It's a quirky form of mental training that keeps their brains sharp and agile. Imagine them casually reciting the order of U.S. presidents while you're just trying to figure out if you left the oven on. They'll also keep track of the exact number of steps in the hallways they walk through. It sounds bizarre, right? But to them, it's all part of a larger game. One where they're constantly exercising their cognitive muscles, almost like a mental gym routine. They love the challenge, and while others roll their eyes at their obsession, Sigma males are quietly sharpening their minds. This habit might look like a bizarre party trick, but it serves a purpose. It's about conditioning their brains to think quickly and retain information, which can come in handy when faced with complex problems or when they need to make split-second decisions. So while everyone else is busy scrolling through memes, Sigma males are diving into the deep end of mental training, one random fact at a time. It may seem pointless to the untrained eye, but for them, it's just another way to level up in the game of life. Number 8. They engage in solitary rituals. Sigma males are known for their unique way of navigating life, and one of their quirkiest traits is their penchant for solitary rituals. These aren't just random habits. They're like secret handshakes with themselves. Picture this. Every morning, a Sigma male might spend a few extra minutes arranging items on their desk in a particular order. It's not about making it look tidy, it's about establishing a sense of order that fuels their day. To the outside world, this might seem like a weird obsession, but for them, it's a grounding exercise that sets the tone for what's to come. Evening strolls become another canvas for their rituals. They might take the same route every night, not for exercise, but because it provides a comforting predictability in an unpredictable world. As they walk, they may mentally sort through their day or ponder future plans, all while enjoying the rhythm of their routine. What's truly strange is how little they feel the need to explain these rituals. To them, these practices are deeply personal, like a meditation that doesn't require an audience. While others might feel pressured to justify their habits or share the meaning behind them, Sigma males simply embrace their idiosyncrasies without a second thought. This not only highlights their independence, but also their inner world, where the need for explanation fades away. It's their way of maintaining balance, and honestly, who needs an audience when you've got a perfectly arranged desk and a reliable walking route? Number 7. They're hyper-independent yet crave deep connection. Sigma males are often labeled as lone wolves, but beneath that hyper-independent exterior lies a surprising desire for deep, meaningful connections. It's a peculiar blend of wanting to be alone while simultaneously yearning for that one-on-one bond that makes life worthwhile. They're not antisocial, they're just really selective about who gets a seat at their table. You could say they're on a mission to weed out the superficial chatter and get right to the good stuff. When they engage with people, they're not interested in the usual small talk about the weather or the latest Netflix series. Instead, they're the ones asking you about your biggest fears or your wildest dreams. If you happen to engage in a genuine conversation about life's mysteries, you'll see their eyes light up like they just found a hidden treasure. But the moment they sense any kind of phoniness or insincerity, it's like flipping a switch. They'll suddenly withdraw like they've stepped into an emotional escape pod, leaving you wondering what just happened. This push-pull dynamic can be confusing, even for those who get close to them. They want real connections that challenge their minds and hearts, but they also fiercely guard their independence. It's this unique trait that makes them both incredibly intriguing and a bit of a paradox. At the end of the day, they're just looking for those rare souls who can match their depth without the fluff. And that's a tall order in a world full of surface-level interactions. Number 6. Emotionally unreachable, yet deeply empathetic. Sigma males are a real puzzle when it comes to emotions. You won't catch them breaking down in public or giving some teary-eyed speech about their feelings. In fact, they're so emotionally unreachable that you might think they're cold or detached. But here's the kicker. They're often more tuned into other people's emotions than most. It's a weird contradiction. They can sense what you're feeling, even before you fully do, yet good luck trying to figure out what's going on in their heads. It's like they have this radar for emotions, but instead of showing their hand, they keep their own feelings locked down tighter than a vault. They'll know when you're upset, offer some perfectly timed advice, or say just the right thing to lift your spirits. But if you flip the script and try to get them to open up, you'll hit a wall. They're like emotional mirrors. They reflect your feelings back to you without ever revealing their own. What makes it even stranger is how effortlessly they connect with people on a deep level without giving much of themselves away. They understand human emotions in a way that's almost unsettling, but they've mastered the art of keeping their own cards hidden. It's as if they've studied emotions like a science and they know exactly how to navigate them, but don't expect to crack the surface. They might know what's going on in your heart, but their own? That's a mystery few will ever solve. Number 5. Obsessive over small, random things. Sigma males have this odd habit of becoming obsessed with the most random, tiny details that would fly right past everyone else. You know how most people might comment on a nice view or a cool outfit? Not these guys. They'll fixate on the specific shade of blue in the sky and spend way too long explaining how it's different from the blue we saw last Tuesday. Or maybe they're holding an old leather-bound book, and suddenly it's all about the texture, how it feels just right in their hands, to the point where they'll interrupt a conversation to talk about it. And no, it's not some calculated move to seem deep or quirky. It's just how their brains work. Their minds lock onto these small, random things, and once that happens, good luck shifting their focus. You'll find yourself thinking, why does this even matter? But to them, it does. The shade of blue? It has to be exactly right. The texture of the book? It's a sensory experience they can't just ignore. What makes it even weirder is that they aren't doing it for attention. They genuinely care about these tiny, often overlooked details. It's as if their minds are wired to find meaning where no one else would even bother looking. To them, it's like discovering a secret world hidden in plain sight, something so random that it makes you question how you've been living your life without noticing such important details. Number 4. They disappear without explanation. One of the most head-scratching things about Sigma males is their uncanny ability to disappear from your life without a word. No fight, no drama, just gone. 1 minute, they're there, contributing to the group chat or showing up at gatherings, and the next, they're off the radar. It's not because they're angry or sulking. No, they simply decide they need to hit the reset button on everything. It's like their social battery hits zero, and the only way to recharge is to unplug completely. What's even stranger is when they reappear, they act like nothing ever happened. They don't apologize or give long-winded explanations. They're back, cool as ever, with a calm, "Hey, what's up?" like they weren't MIA for weeks or even months. It leaves people baffled. Did they go on some spiritual journey? Did they secretly join a monastery? Nope. They were likely just off the grid, doing their own thing, away from the noise of human interaction. The weird part is, they don't see their vanishing act as a big deal. To them, it's normal. They come back exactly the same, unfazed by whatever chaos might have unfolded in their absence. It's like hitting pause on social life whenever they feel like it, then pressing play, as if the world stood still waiting for them. It's their unique version of self-care, but for everyone else it's just confusing and strangely impressive. Number 3. They hate being controlled but love self-discipline. Sigma males are an intriguing mix of rebellion and self-discipline, like a wild stallion that's also an Olympic gymnast. They absolutely loathe the idea of anyone trying to control them. Bosses, friends, even family members just don't stand a chance when it comes to dictating their choices. To them, external control feels like a straitjacket, suffocating their independent spirit. They'd rather wrestle a bear than follow someone else's rules. Yet, paradoxically, they thrive under their own strict personal codes. Think of it as their unique brand of self-imposed boot camp. While others may balk at early morning workouts or strict budgets, Sigma males see these self-discipline practices as their personal playground. They set the bar higher than most would dare, demanding not just excellence, but mastery from themselves in whatever they pursue. This isn't just about personal growth. It's about proving to themselves that they can rise above the chaos of life without anyone's help or guidance. This dichotomy can be baffling to outsiders. How can they resist external authority while holding themselves to a higher standard? But therein lies the magic. Sigma males know that real freedom comes from self-discipline. They choose their path, and it's one of rigorous self-control, a wild ride where they're both the driver and the unbreakable rules. So while they might scoff at the thought of someone telling them what to do, don't be fooled. Inside, they're the ones crafting a life that is entirely their own. Number 2. They invest in things with no immediate payoff. One of the most intriguing traits of Sigma males is their knack for investing in things that don't promise immediate payoffs. While the rest of us are scrambling to grab quick wins and instant gratification, these guys are out there planting seeds for future successes that might never even bloom. Imagine them diving into obscure hobbies, mastering a foreign language, or taking on complex projects that seem to lead nowhere. To outsiders, it looks like they're just wasting time, but for them, it's a gamble on the future version of themselves that they envision. It's as if they're playing a long game in life's chess match, fully aware that the real rewards might not show up for years, or may not show up at all. They embrace the uncertainty, throwing themselves into these pursuits with a level of commitment that makes you wonder if they've got some secret insight into how life works. It's not about what's trending or what'll get them likes on social media. It's about personal growth and self-exploration, even if it means toiling away in the shadows. And let's be honest, it can be a little baffling. You might catch them reading an ancient philosophy book or learning to juggle flaming torches, and you can't help but think, what's the point? But for Sigma males, that's where the magic happens. They trust the process, knowing that today's quirky investments could yield unexpected rewards tomorrow. So while you're busy chasing quick wins, They're out there building a richer, more complex life, one strange obsession at a time. Number 1. They're obsessed with learning obscure skills. Sigma males have a bizarre obsession with learning the most random, obscure skills that leave everyone around them scratching their heads. While others are busy picking up useful hobbies like coding or playing guitar, Sigma males are out here mastering lockpicking or learning medieval sword-fighting techniques. It's not because they think the world's ending or that they'll need to defend themselves in some Game of Thrones-style battle. Oh no, it's much weirder than that. They dive into these niche skills purely for the intellectual challenge. It's like their brain craves complexity in the most unexpected places, while the rest of us are trying to figure out how to fold a fitted sheet. They're in the corner crafting their own knives, just because they can. It's not about survival, and it's definitely not about impressing anyone. In fact, half the time they don't even bother telling people about their weird hobbies because it's not for show, it's for them. The satisfaction comes from mastering something that almost no one else cares about. It's like they've found a loophole in the matrix that lets them operate outside of society's expectations. Who needs another guy who can play Wonderwall on guitar when you can be the one person in the room who knows how to escape handcuffs with a paperclip? It's an intellectual flex, not in the traditional sense, but in a you'd never guess I know how to do this kind of way. In the grand circus of life, Sigma males are like the quirky clowns who juggle chainsaws while riding unicycles, completely fascinating and a little terrifying. Their weird traits, from their uncanny ability to predict outcomes to their solitary rituals that seem to have no rhyme or reason, make them stand out in a world that often values conformity. These guys are like walking enigmas. They operate on a different wavelength, making them hard to read, but utterly captivating. Sure, you might raise an eyebrow at their obsession with memorizing random facts or their talent for disappearing from social scenes like they're in a spy movie, but that's all part of their charm. They embrace their quirks unapologetically, reminding us that being normal is overrated. They thrive in their own unique universe, where every odd habit serves a purpose only they fully understand. So the next time you encounter a Sigma male, don't be quick to judge. Instead, lean in and enjoy the show. You might just find yourself nodding along, wondering why you didn't think of it that way before. They're not just weird, they're wonderfully weird. And that's what makes life a whole lot more interesting. After all, who doesn't love a little intrigue sprinkled with a dash of chaos? So here's to the Sigma males. Keep being your extraordinary selves. The world needs more of your brand of strange. Thank you, gents, for tuning in, and stay safe. God bless.